Hello everyone, welcome back to the New Hampshire Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana and today we're here with Julie Glynn of Julie Glynn Coaching. How's it going?
Great, thank you.
So let's get started. Tell me a little bit about the business and yourself and what you do.
Myself and how I got started.
Yeah, absolutely.
Typically, well, I'm new. I'm a new coach. So I've only been doing this for a little over a year. I was in the field of education before I was a coach. And I felt like when I got ready to leave there and take on a new career, I felt like I was doing a complete 180. But then the more I got into the coaching field, I realized there are so many similarities. Coaching is essentially facilitated learning, facilitated self-discovery, which is the same as what I did in my world of teaching.
Yeah.
So I really only just made a minor shift and not a complete 180. Which was good because then I can still use a lot of the skills that I had when I was a teacher, which I felt like I was, successful at that. So I brought all of that with me. When I started coaching, I wasn't really sure, where I wanted to be or how I could help people. And it was only recently that I started going into intuitive eating. And what actually happened to me was I had been on the keto diet and I started having fantasies about binging and eating and going crazy on food, and a lot of people who go off of keto, that's what happens because they've been restricted for so long.
Yeah.
And I was still doing keto, and I was doing some reading about mindful eating, and the buzzword intuitive eating came up, and I was like, what is that? And I started looking at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for me. and I stopped doing keto. And I switched over personally to doing intuitive eating. And I've been really, really super happy with it ever since. And I feel like it's hard. It's not easy, but I almost feel like it's really essential to get, especially for women, to get in tune with kind of the mind-body issues that we have.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's go from there. What is intuitive eating?
Well, I'm not going to have all of it memorized by heart. There's 10 principles to intuitive eating, but really the way I see it is it's going back to what you were born with. If you look back at a child, you don't have to tell a child to eat. They eat when they're hungry. They stop when they're full. They know what they want to eat. Somehow as we grow older and into adulthood, we get into the, well, I'm eating even though I'm not hungry. It happens to me where, everybody's going out for dinner and I go with them, but I'm not even hungry, but I'll still eat when I go out for dinner because it's kind of a social thing. If you take a child out for dinner and they just ate lunch, they're not hungry, they're not going to eat, and they're going to stop when they're full. Those are the biggest things about intuitive eating that I think are important, is eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. There's other components to it. Don't eat when you're distracted. So pay attention to your eating.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big one. I saw a lady today when I had to stop at an office before I came here who was eating at her desk. And I was like, for one thing, you're not enjoying that food.
Yeah.
And you're eating a ton more than you would if you actually paid attention not only to what you're eating and how it tastes, but how your body is feeling about it.
Yeah.
Listening to the cues that I'm done eating now and it's time to stop.
Yeah, because that's a big one. There's actually a couple things in there you said that are really big, and that's social eating. There's a lot of social pressure around food, especially at parties, and like you say, you go out to dinner and stuff like that, and then eating when you're kind of bored or just you're not paying attention to it. You're just sitting at a computer or a TV or
at the movies, and you down that, and then you go grind and grip the refill and down it again. And it's like the whole time you're watching the movie, and it's like, wow, I can't believe we ate that whole thing.
Yeah, and that whole thing was a whole day's worth of food.
Exactly.
And they're like, why am I not losing weight?
I know. I didn't really eat that much today. I just went to the movies.
Yeah. And I think another big part of this conversation is, like you had mentioned, when you're a child, you're better with what you eat and how. A lot of times because your parents regulate your food, kind of like what you can and cannot eat. Because typically, I'm going to say typically, a child doesn't get born, it's on formula, then milk, they don't go, oh, here's super heavy processed sugars and, you know.
Yeah.
So when you get later in life, you reintroduce that into a diet and it completely changes things.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of studies and a lot of thoughts and stuff about foods that make you want to eat more food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yes.
Wrong room.
That's probably next. Yes. Anyway, so that way I know what. Take that part out.
Yeah.
So, what was I saying? Oh, so quality of food is important too. Cool. Let me go from there. Do you have anything you want to add to that? No? Okay. So, man, that really threw me off. So,
No, because I don't want to get into the science, and then there's a lot of I don't want to get into dissing companies. I could go on a whole bandwagon about.
yes.
About-
Okay, so
But
I'll
let's not go
save
there.
you from that. You know, plenty of companies, and it's very well known. You know, one with refined with sugars and things that are put into it, they're absolutely detrimental to your health, and I'm fully aware. I am a very large fella, and I get it. I just finally, within the last few months, switched and started dieting again, and so, I used to be in really good shape. Now I'm not.
We're not on right now, are we?
Well, it's on, but I can
Oh.
cut out whatever I want
Oh,
to.
okay. Well, there's one of the other principles is ditching the diet mindset, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of studies and a lot of research about how diets really ruin your
Yeah.
metabolism in your body.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's pretty funny. Anyway, so let's get back on to a subject. So we were talking intuitive.
Yeah, what I would like us to go into is about like self-respect for your body.
Cool.
That's where I come in.
Okay.
Is learning to respect your body, love your body, listen to your
Okay,
body,
cool.
which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. Cool. So let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's better. Cool. So essentially, a patient comes to you. They decide they need your services. Where do we go from there?
Well, we talk about kind of like what they feel like are one of their strongest issues. I need to help people who want to be helped and know that they have an area where they can benefit from help. What I see a lot in intuitive eating and even just the diet mentality and body image is kind of like a self-loathing, and I feel really badly about that there's so many people that feel that way, that feel, especially because of the size and shape of their body. I mean, it's like, if you're going to feel guilty about something, at least feel guilty about something that you consciously made a decision to do wrong, but don't disrespect yourself because of the size or shape of your body. I feel like that's super unfortunate.
Yeah.
And that's the area where I really like to try to help people, is becoming their own best friend again. Love yourself, love your body. It's amazing how quickly you'll treat it differently when you're proud of yourself and you're happy with yourself, regardless of your size and shape. And I think that's a really huge component.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of, regardless of what you eat, I think we've become a society where we're so externally focused that it's bringing us down inside. And now that we have social media to add to that, I think it just exacerbates it so badly. People are putting out their very best. Other people are looking at it and then internalizing and feeling like failures based on a 5% that somebody else is showing.
Yeah.
Through social media.
Yeah.
And so that's an area I really like to work with, is starting to become the type of person who's like, I can look at that and not internalize. I can look at my exterior world and friends and not affect my ego in a negative way. Then once you do that, you start getting on the downward spiral. And for particularly women, I find that's when we start to like self-sabotage. Oh, well, my life is horrible because she has this beautiful picture on Facebook and she's whatever, thinner than I am, prettier than I am, and I'm useless, I'm going to eat. And that's where I like to get in there and be like, help them. And part of coaching too is everything somebody needs it's all inside of them. I don't bring to them anything they don't have. We just peel it back until they discover it. And that's kind of cool. It's kind of like talking about kids again. It's kind of like when you see a kid who does something for the first time that they didn't know they could do.
Yeah.
And then they do it. And it's like, I mean, we might guide our kids, teach them how to, ride a bike and help them and support them, but they did it on their own. And that feeling of success is like, I did this. I think as grown-ups, we need to get back there. We need to get back to discovering, hey, I can do this. I've seen other people do it. I know that it's possible, but I don't know if I can do it. That's where the coach comes in. I'll hold the back of your bike until you're sturdy enough to go on it. And then that enlightenment in their face and stuff like, I did do this. I had it in me all along. And then once you have that, it's like, it's so empowering to be, I don't need to worry about what someone else thinks about me.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay with what I think about me.
Yeah.
And then once you get to that place, I mean, like, whether it's your eating, your relationships, whoever it is, everything kind of just settles when you're okay with who you are.
Yeah. I like that. So, but I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. But at what point because I understand being okay with yourself, but at what point does the personal change come in? Because typically that stems from an issue you had with yourself. So going on, yes, ditch the diet mentality, but someone who wants to lose weight, how does that play into, all of it?
I'm not,
if that makes sense.
No, it didn't make a bit of sense. But I'll answer it anyway.
Yeah.
The thing about, one of the distinctions I should make is, and this is sometimes a confusion, is what's the difference between therapy and coaching. Mm-hmm. Coaching is creating a future based on your future. Therapy is creating your future based on what happened to you in the past. So with coaching, we look at, well, where do you want to be? What do you want to create? How do you want to be? And then together, between client and coach, we kind of create that space for that growth, for that possibility. So regardless of where you came from or what you're carrying with you, you can create a plan for where you want to go. You don't have to take all of your baggage with you. You can just be like, this is where I'm going to go and this is how I'm going to do it. And your coach is going to help you find your way there, help you make the plan, help you see the plan, believe the plan, and then do it, have it happen. But it's like practice. It's going to feel really awkward at first. Like if you try to bounce the basketball with your left hand when you're right-handed, it's going to feel really, really weird at first. Yeah. But the more you do it, doesn't matter that you've never done it before, you could never use your left hand. The more you do it, the more you practice, the better you're going to get at it until it becomes second nature. And then you can go either way. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I just like playing devil's advocate sometimes. It's fun to
nice.
Just sit there and poke at things. It's probably the best part of my job.
Oh yeah. I would be really good at that too.
Yeah. So pretty cool. So for anyone that wants to reach out and kind of learn a little more about you and what you do and how you can help, how do they get in touch with you?
Basically my name. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm JulieGlynnCoaching.com.
Okay.
I'm Julie at Julie Glynn Coaching as my email address. I'm also Julie Glynn at Yahoo.com. Julie Glynn Coaching on Facebook. But the best way to probably reach me would probably be through Facebook. Mm-hmm. I'm on Facebook a lot. I do a lot of social media, but that being said, I don't do a lot of social media. Yeah. So I don't post every day. I don't put things out every day, but I'm there every day. So it's a good way to reach me.
Yeah.
As opposed to emails that sometimes get lost or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you can also stalk whatever I have done and check it out. But yeah, I would say if anything I've said resonates with anybody, I would strongly encourage them just to connect with me. That's where every relationship starts, is make a connection and then go from there.
Yeah, and talk to them on social media.
Just talk. Yeah, let's just create a conversation and go from there and see what happens. Cool. I might not be the coach for everybody, and not everybody is the client for me.
Yeah.
Just like dating,
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to be together forever, but it starts with a conversation. and it goes from there. So that's what I would say.
Pretty cool. Awesome. So thank you for joining me. It's been a lot of fun.
This has been fun, and I was scared.
Most people say that until they sit down, and then it's pretty easy. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. That is it for today, and everyone be good. That's it for today, everyone. But it doesn't have to end there. Head over to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or iHeartRadio to get more from New Hampshire's top entrepreneurs.